What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. I can't believe I'm going to say it, but we're about to recap week 12 of the NFL season. Before we jump into it, go down, like, and subscribe. Comment your thoughts on week 12 if your team balled out or got shitted on. Let us know. We're always a good shoulder to lean on. I'm Paul, pick 'em, win 'em, Concha, and I'm joined with.
Ah, ah, life is good, Paul. It's your boy Kev, Water Voice, your boy, aka Don PYE, aka Mr. Number One in his division. Ah,
Oh,
four,
shit. Yeah. I forgot y'all are now number one.
5-6, Paul. We doing the damn thing.
Big 5-6, bro. That's a
Big 5-6. Yeah, number one. We're number one. Bro, imagine missing the playoffs with like 10 wins and you fucking missed it to a team that was like with a losing record.
But that was how I was talking about with my dad because he's a Cowboys fan. I was like, y'all could really be like 13-3, or 13-4, and that shit won't matter. Y'all still be a fifth seed. And whoever wins NFC South might not even be 500.
Yeah. Shit is beautiful. And we had the easiest schedules in all the divisions this year.
That's true.
It is beautiful. I love the NFL. But shout out the Falcons. Shout out my dogs for being number one. I'm enjoying this shit. I was sending out the "it smell like bitch in here" meme to all the everybody else in the division. Let
Yeah.
them know how it comes.
I even got the message, but I'm not even in the division.
Hey man, I just wanted you to know it smell like bitch in here. Like the dog, come help John out the smell. But
We did get that Friday win on the ass.
yeah, man. And this week was interesting because why the fuck were there so many pick sixes this week?
Defenses came through, but there's a lot of low scoring games. Like they're 10-7, 17-10, 16-10, 24-15.
Mm-hmm.
There was some high scoring ones too, though.
Nah, that shit was crazy. But before we get into the motherfucking recap, I do want to talk about this fucking hat that I got, right? So I have a black Falcons hat, literally because I have a black Falcons jersey. I don't even think the person that got me this hat knew I had this jersey. But this hat I got from my dog Devin, Mr. Director of Photography, Big DP. He works for the Jacksonville Arena football team. He's in my program at school, and he works in with the Jacksonville Arena football team, and they just won a championship. So it's cool that he literally had a song playing in his head when he first started working. And we were like, yo, I'd love to to make um make a championship video to this. But he was like, it only will work for the championship. So this boy literally worked grinded with them the whole season and got to watch them from the preseason all the way to the motherfucking championship. So shout out that boy Devin, man. But I gotta thank my dog because he gave me this hat. And in the side, this is from the inaugural Mercedes-Benz game. So if you're a real Falcons fan, you know that our last game in the Georgia Dome was the NFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl that we lost. But that next year we played in the Mercedes-Benz, and my dog Devin got me a legit hat from that game. And shout out my boy. It's a cool story. He said his uncle lives in Atlanta. And his uncle either lives in Atlanta or lives in Georgia and went to the game. And everybody everybody got one of these and they put it in the seats type shit so you could wear. And a lot of people left their shits. I'm guessing we lost or something like that. So a lot of motherfuckers left their shit. So he was just over there just grabbing them, grabbing them, grabbing them, grabbing them, grabbing them.
Yeah, I would.
So like, yeah, that nigga that dude snagged about like 15 of them things. And I was like, what? But the crazier thing about it was, Paul, this is September 17th, 2017. This is 2023. So it would have been very easy to not have one of these no more. And not only that,
Later, you
Devin,
finally get one.
facts. Devin heard the story in like May. And when he heard the story, he asked his uncle, he was like, yo, can I get one of those? I have a buddy that's a Falcons fan. And I was like, what? And then he was like, oh, yeah, no problem. I'll give it to you next time I see you. He seen him on Thanksgiving and got the hat and then immediately gave me that thing. And I was like, yo, that is the realest shit I've ever heard. So shout out Devin. Shout out the Falcons. Shout
Oh,
out
the
the
hat's
City.
hard, especially with the side. I like hats with extra things on the side like that.
What? That's clean. I don't know if I should hang it up or wear it. Like, it's so clean. But shout out my dog for getting me this, man.
Well, we got to talk with all that energy. The first game on the slate, Falcons beating the Saints. It's the hate week, right? Hate week, Falcons Saints.
But
Falcons.
that
Oh, as the Falcons 24, Saints 15.
Yeah, bro, the Falcons Saints rivalry is so interesting because I don't think anybody else in the world gives a fuck except for Saints and Falcons fans. It's like the Dolphins and the Patriots. Like, if you don't know that's a rivalry, you wouldn't know that. Like, you genuinely wouldn't know that. Miami versus New York. If you're from Florida, you understand where the Florida New York beef comes from. And, like, you wouldn't know that. So like nobody knows about our rivalry, but this is probably one of the most heated rivalries in 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 the NFC. I'll say that, not the entire NFL, but in the NFC. And this is the NFC that has the Packers versus Packers versus Bears, um 49ers and Seahawks,
Cowboys.
Eagles and Cowboys. Like we're like a top five because we just hate each other so much, and we're not naturally good franchises historically. So like us, anytime we've seen each other, we really meant to heat. And we're one of the few. They said at one point we were one of the few NFC teams that was actually in the NFC that in the South that was actually in the NFC South that was actually in the South type shit. So our rivalry is very heated, and it goes back and forth. And these games matter. Like these games mean something to everybody that's watching that bitch. So this was a good game. I think I was scared at the beginning of this game. Chris Olave was on a tear. He was looking like a problem. And but we remember that we have Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates looked like the fucking defensive player of the year this game. But just started off the game with a pick six to get us on the board immediately. And he just never looked back, forced a fumble. He's a fucking problem. And we love everything about him. By far the best free agent signing of the year, in our opinion, as Falcons fans. But did you enjoy watching this game as much as I did, Pablo?
Oh, 100%, brother. Had to remind the Saints fans that I took the Falcons to win the division, and definitely the ones that I was crazy about it. But like I said, Rayler did throw two interceptions. I was like, he's just the Saints always get turnovers, but Rayler always gives turnovers. So like they're gonna counter out where like it won't affect the Falcons offense. They're still gonna be able to do their thing. And that's exactly what they did. The Saints, great pass defense, but you can run against them. The Falcons got like over 240 yards of rushing. Just ran all day. Everybody was eating up on them. And I think was it Taysom Hill who fumbled the ball in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter? Basically, like damn near sealed the game type shit. Just crushed them.
Yep.
So on all aspects of the ball, like fucking, and finally got to see the Bijan touchdown and like a nice little two, yeah. But the one like over the air wheel route in the pocket that was nice. One on the ground, like this is Falcons finally playing Falcon football. They just gotta stop turning the ball over. Like can't keep getting the interception.
And shout out the O line. I know they had a hard job, but they gave really time in a lot of moments. So shout out the O line.
And then from one division rivalry to another, I had the Bengals, you had the Steelers. Steelers won 16-10, and it was a fuck Matt Canada game. Only got 16 points, but first time over 400 yards of offense. Didn't have that at all with Matt Canada as offensive coordinator. They beat the Burrow Bengals. I thought the Bengals would be able to do something, but they only had one touchdown drive. And in another drive, they got into the red zone. He throws an interception. And the Steelers offense got a couple turnovers themselves. But, I mean, Najee almost had 100 yards. Warren was cutting up. Freiermuth, he was one of the best tight ends last year. Didn't do shit all year. That 9 catches, 120 yards. Like, the Steelers offense looked a lot better without Matt Canada around.
1,000% this was a fuck Matt Canada game. Because when I picked the Steelers, I was expecting their defense to win this game for us. No, sir, that offense came through ready to roll, and they looked good. So yeah, shout out the Steelers on this one. Mike Tomlin is about to sneak his way into the playoffs again. I can already see it coming. How did the
Yeah.
Steelers win the playoffs again this year. Nobody
7-4. And this is a division that where a quarterback seems to get hurt every year.
Yo, for sure.
So, like, I feel like there's never a safe pick on who's going to win the division because every team's quarterback's, like, up in the air on someone's might go down that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then this game was ugly. Probably the ugliest. No, I can't say the ugliest. There's one worse than this. But the Titans beating the Panthers 17-10. Frank Wright gets fired, Kev. Second coach fired after this game. Titans 4-1 at home, 4-7 altogether. They seem to get wins at home. Derrick Henry gets 2 rushing touchdowns. But the bigger story was more about the Panthers' offenses look absolutely shit for another week in a row.
Right, Frank Wright is the first coach in history to be fired in back-to-back seasons.
I did not know that. I know that they're paying him like $25,000 for the next 3 years every day.
Every day?
But I don't think they're paying him daily. But it was like if you broke it down for a 3-year span, he would be making $25,000 daily for doing that.
That's one way to go about it. But that's insane that it went down like that. I think Frank Wright getting hired was a very much, oh, this guy recommended you. I'm a runner. I'm gonna run with it. Fuck it. Type vibes. So, I mean, it is what it is.
I never really liked the Frank Wright train when he covered it.
Yeah, I mean, we called it. You said that the Panthers were not gonna have any rush defense against Derrick Henry. I didn't expect 2 rushing touchdowns per se. But that's what they showed. They weren't giving up shit to Derrick. They were just running all over them, steamrolling them. Will Levis got a couple good trick plays in. Like it was just the Titans were just figuring out ways to win. And they kind of just was leaving them more and more.
Bryce Young, 194 yards. Game on the line, like 4th and 10, and they throw a wide receiver screen that gets like blown up. And they're like, why the fuck are you like, this is the play call. That's why
the play that got him fired.
They pulled him into the room as they had that play going with a laser pointer and the circling shit. Like,
hit him with the this you?
Yeah. Exhibit A. But next game, this game was a heater. We had the Colts-Bucks. Colts winning 27-20. We got a sensational Gardner Minshew shimmy from the goal line. Big story leaving it, though, is Jonathan Taylor gets a little injury. He's going to undergo thumb surgery. He's going to be out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. But the Colts are 6-5, just kind of sneaking their way into the playoffs, where no one was expecting. And the Bucks are now 4-7 after starting 3-1.
Why am I not surprised? But we don't have to get into that. I've never been the type to say I told you so, but I told you so. But this game was sneakily close because the Bucks kept trying to find ways to stay in the game. And one touchdown shows you that, like, if they could have got a drive together, which they've done in pretty much most of these games this year, they could have did something to contest this, send it into overtime, or maybe even score and go for 2. But what did you like about this game?
Zach Moss and Jonathan, like the Colts know where they are, and they seem to be able to do it real well. They cut Shaq Leonard, once all-pro linebacker. He was healthy this year. He just didn't look like $60 million linebacker material, so they're not afraid to cut him. Like, I think the Colts know what they are, and doesn't matter what your name is. They're going to do whatever to win. And that might be a sneaky team to watch coming into the playoffs because they score 20 points every fucking game. It doesn't matter what defense they've gone up against. If the Colts can score against any team, you better be able to score 20 or more in the playoffs if you're going up against the Colts. This is the ugliest game on the board, Kev. This is the game you came texting me, mad as fuck.
Giants, so upset.
Patriots 10-7. Tommy DeVito, that boy, Italian sensation, Italian stallion, leading the Giants to an upset win where the Patriots kicker misses one to tie it to potentially go to overtime.
Bro, if you want to know exactly what I said to Paul, I said, fuck you. I called him at first, and then he didn't pick up. He was busy. So I said, fuck you. Oh, I said, no big deal. I was just calling you to let you know, fuck you, fuck the Patriots, fuck Bill Belichick, fuck the Patriots kicker, and fuck the entire New England area. I was quite upset about this because I told myself I should pick the Giants.
Multiple times. You said it there, like plenty of times I asked you, like, you sure? You sounded like you want the Giants.
Yeah, but I was like, there's no way. Because it just makes sense. Like, Tommy DeVito is about to get picked apart against by the brain of fucking Bill Belichick. But no, that's not what they want to do. They don't. The Patriots don't want to motherfucking win. They play Mac Jones and he looks terrible. They throw picks. They almost get ran back for touchdowns. Motherfucking.
He had like 90 yards and 2 interceptions and a fumble before he gets benched for Bailey Zapp. I think the Mac Jones train is over.
By far. So yeah, I'm not really I don't know if there's much to do after that. Like fuck them.
Yeah.
I'm expecting them to lose every game. On the other side though, shout out the Giants. Putting together another dub. Definitely did not look good at all, but they got it.
10 points. Then this game was great. This might have been the game of the week right here. Jaguars beating the Texans 24-21. Amendola goes out for a 58-yard field goal to tie it, and it hits the middle of the bar and doinks out. Jaguars win, but both quarterbacks had a hell of a game. Trevor Lawrence 360 yards, CJ Stroud 300 yards. Neither offense could really be stopped. How did you like the Texans Jaguars game?
This game was a thriller night. Oh, because immediately I'm watching this game like, why the fuck are the Jaguars losing? I'm like, bro, y'all don't go whoop they motherfucking ass. And then the Jaguars, they turned up a little bit. And then the resilience behind CJ Stroud and everything he was doing, I was like, oh, wow. Respect. So shout out. And then people were trying to tell us the game was over because I'm in Gainesville. There are a lot of random Jaguar fans out here. They're trying to tell us the game was over when the Jaguars were up. And I was like, nah.
Have you not seen who the Texans got over there playing quarterback right now?
Literally, I'm at the point now where I could call rookies kids, and I was like, all right, wait for this kid right here. He'll show y'all a thing or two.
And there's controversy in this game because there was the Tank Dell catch that was ruled incomplete towards out of bounds, and I've seen screenshot footage on Twitter. It's both feet down and him having the balls in his hand. It looked like a catch to me, but I didn't see until after the fact on Twitter. Twitter detectives made sure to show it. And then there was another call that was ruled, and he made like a 55-yard catch that gets called back on like some bullshit call. I can't remember what it was. And of course the Texans fans are mad about that, but if this is what the Texans Jaguars are going to be for the next 5 or 10 years, sign me up. Sign me up for it. This is going to be a banger. And Anthony Richardson gets healthy over there for the Colts. Oh, yeah. It's going to be – the Titans are kind of looking like the worst team for the next few years.
Nah, for real. That's going to be tragic. But, yeah, shout out CJ Stroud and the Texans. Even though they didn't get the win, they just showed resilience. And that boy CJ Stroud, when he be rushing into the end zone, should be looking so clean.
And then we had a scoregami game, Kev.
What is that?
Like whenever scoregami is they keep track of like every score outcome there's ever been. So whenever a new score outcome that hasn't happened yet happens, it's like, oh, we got a new score. Like it's finally a game that had this score. And first time ever a game ended 29-12. Broncos beating the Browns. Kev, we both took the Broncos here, and I said it best. I was like, this is going to be a game where I think everybody's going to think the Browns' defense is going to matter. But for whatever reason, the Broncos are going to just like beat them by 10 or more. And everybody, the whole public, there's a lot of money on the Browns. So, of course, Vegas gets rich on this game when the Broncos come out and whoop their ass at 29-12. And everyone's saying it. Russ back. I mean, I think he has like 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, like top 10 in yardage.
I mean,
I don't see it, but like the numbers aren't lying either, and they're winning. Like, but eye test, I don't see it. I don't see like the sensational games for us, but I see the numbers.
I mean, I think over time they're looking a lot better, and the fact that they're continuing to win. But their win, it looks good. And I'm keeping my stakes in Bronco County. I've been chilling. I was like, I'm not going nowhere because I also feel like the teams that they're playing aren't the toughest. But I'm also, I guess I compare everybody's schedules to Eagles and shit like that, and that's a pretty hard fucking schedule.
Well, they
But I
also
don't think that,
they beat the Chiefs and the Bills.
yeah, but like, yeah, I was about to say, I was gonna say that the schedules aren't the toughest, but nah, they do have a pretty tough schedule. But the Broncos look like they're just dialing in. They're starting to buy in. Maybe a lot of the stuff that we've seen beforehand was the team meshing, just needing to mesh well and figure things out. Maybe they needed to have somebody score 70 points on them to get their defense back right. So shout out the Dolphins right now, and I love to see what they're gonna continue to do.
And then our divisional game here, Kev. We both were wrong on this one.
Crazy.
I think I talked you into taking the Cardinals with me. And the Rams beat the fuck out the Cardinals 37-14. Kyron Williams goes for like 200 scrimmage yards. Stafford throws 4 touchdowns. At halftime, it's 21-8, and it's basically not a ball game. Arizona's offense couldn't do nothing. The Rams defense was rolling. Rams offense, every time they touched the ball, was going down the field. So I think this was the ugliest game. I think the Rams has actually steamrolled the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, we both thought the Cardinals were really gonna eat this game. Kyler Murray was the truth, but nah, Kyron Williams came back in this game and really showed everybody what the fuck he felt, how the fuck he felt while he was gone. So like that's why I don't really like to let Russ cook idea about it because there's so many other moving pieces. Kyron Williams, a running back. You got people like you got people like
But you got Cooper Kupp, you got Puka Nacua.
facts. I'm trying to think defense. You got a lot of hitters. You got a lot of good things going over there. The team was also built for that. So after you leave, I don't know what it is. So like we thought maybe that's these are the things we're not penciling in when we talk about the Broncos, not the Broncos, the Rams. And I guess they definitely fooled me. I wasn't aware of the game until this weekend.
Yeah, the Rams low key are now 5-6, 1 win away from being at 500, and they got the talent there. That's the one thing you cannot deny. The Rams got the talent. They just have to start winning games.
Hell yeah.
And in this game was scary, Kev. Chiefs Raiders. Chiefs 31-17, but Raiders were up 14-0 in the second quarter. And I was like, damn, are the Chiefs dead? And then the Chiefs rally and go on like a 21-point scoring streak. And they end up winning 31-17. Rashid Rice got 107 yards in the touchdown. Mahomes almost throws for 300. But the Chiefs defense, and once again, second half, only allow a field goal the whole second half to the Raiders. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I mean, we'll see them later in the playoffs, as usual.
Yeah, they're always going to be that team that just keeps on going, keeps on fighting. And you just never know if they're going to be, this is going to be the year they win a championship or not. But in the moment, there's teams that are showing they're vulnerable and showing little things that people can exploit. So we'll see if they fix it or allow it to keep going.
And then the thriller that was the overtime game of the week. Eagles beating the Bills 37-34, Kev. Josh Allen had 81 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, throws for 330, 2 touchdowns, but he has the costly interception to Bradbury that he's always good for. And the Eagles come back in the second half to force overtime. And in overtime, I think they said Josh Allen is now 0-5 in overtime games since they changed the rules for him. What did you think of the Eagles-Bills overtime thriller?
Man, you'll be disgusted with me if you found out what I did like 5 minutes before Jalen Hurts threw that touchdown to Zacchaeus.
What happened?
Fell asleep.
No, you didn't get to see the Hurts. That was an MVP moment for
that shit was beautiful. He definitely got my vote for MVP with that just off of that play. But I missed that and the OT. But I watched the entire game beforehand. I was like, damn. Me and Paul literally said the Eagles are straight as long as Josh Allen doesn't remember that he has wheels and can start using, and then the offense incorporates him using his legs more. That was the first thing these motherfuckers started to do, Paul, and I was like, this is some bullshit.
And we said it too. We may be sitting here watching this game, and we'll see in the first drive him run, and we're gonna be like, "Fuck!"
Literally, so you're just like, okay, well, fuck it. So, I mean, this game went exactly as we expected. I just felt like we're on the losing side.
No, we both took the Eagles. We were just worried about.
We did.
Yeah, we did take the Eagles, but we were
Okay.
worried about Josh Allen, and that was the thing when he did run it. It was like it felt like we're about to lose this whole game. I thought the Eagles were going to lose this game until Jalen Hurts like put his big boy pants on and led his team down for multiple drives.
Nice. We love to see it. But yeah, they definitely look good out there. And they showed on the preview I was talking about, so we got to start putting respect on the Eagles, even though it's regular season. But the fact that they did it last season, went 15-1, with a crazy easy schedule. And this year they're facing nothing but hitters. They just got lost to the Broncos. Once they had the bye week. And then after that, they had
After the bye week, who did they just beat last week?
no, they just beat the Chiefs last week. And then after that, they played the motherfucking Bills this week. And they're continuously getting dubs against number one and number two, number three, four, five, whatever you want to call them. Like,
And I mean, next week is the 49ers too.
Mm-hmm. And if they do that, they're showing that this is a NFC Conference Championship preview. So they're showing like, yo, we're kicking ass and we're taking names. So like Paul likes to say, I like meth and I like kicking ass. I'm all out of meth right now.
Yeah, and
so that's what the Eagles are doing.
The Bills are 6-6. That's not playoff material if you're in the AFC.
On paper, they're playoff team. On paper.
Hey, I will say they're 1-4 in away games, so they better get home field advantage if they want any hope.
But it's too late for that.
Yeah, the Dolphins saying sayonara. We got the Panthers, Bears, and shit. Like we about to fucking cakewalk it. The next game on the slate, Ravens beating the Chargers 20-10. Like I said, they're just gonna shut down the Chargers. The Ravens defense is legitimate. Like everyone keeps saying the Browns are the best defense, and I know they might be on paper statistically, but I'm more afraid about this Ravens defense where they hit hard. Where the scary thing is they're hitting just as hard as like old defenses, but they're doing it legally. Like
literally.
Like they're like, all right, they're not gonna allow us to like hit him in the neck or something, but we're gonna take his fucking shoulder out. Like they just fucking like plow through people. Austin Eckler fumble. I think there was a couple fumbles. Herbert interception. They came into the game leading the league with least amount of turnovers with like 8 through 11 weeks, and then they got 3 this game. And like their whole offense looked pretty bad. Ravens. At no point did I think the Ravens were losing this game. It felt like.
I mean, not even slightly. The fact that the Chargers got the touchdown was cool. But yeah, me personally, I just think Brandon Staley is on a hot seat around. And nobody's going to say nothing about it. But that seat is steaming right now because there's no way you have all these weapons and are not turning them into wins.
4-7, and you're not fired yet? That's crazy.
Panthers could never. Panthers would get your ass up.
And I think Lamar would be my pick for MVP right now if the season was to end. I mean, 9-3, number 1 in the AFC, and I mean he's passing more than ever. And then our final game, Kev, on the slate, Monday Night Football. This is where I kind of made it close on the standings for our overall week-to-week picks. I took the Bears. You took the Vikings. Bears win 12-10. Josh Dobbs throws 4 interceptions, like one after, like when you thought he couldn't throw another one, he threw another one, and it was getting real ugly out there. And the crazy thing was like they were in the game the whole game. Like the Bears could only get field goals, and they were missing a couple of them too. Like so, it was 10-12, even though Dobbs those 4 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of the interceptions were like him forcing throws into a tight window, or maybe just making a little bit of ill-advised, maybe decision that could have been better. And a lot of them were just tip balls, and then the defenders were making athletic ass plays to get the ball, to grab the ball before it hit the ground. I want to say 2 of his interceptions were like that, but no excuses. He did throw a lot of interceptions, but the boys is figuring that shit out somehow, some way, I guess.
No, and the Bears got 4 wins, and I think this is Fields' second win on the season himself.
Yeah, and he's been injured a lot, so that's respectful. But yeah, this Vikings team makes me so mad because I was like, yo, where was this energy when y'all played us? Y'all could have looked shitty. Y'all could have looked crazy. But the velocity, most of this game, they just looked like they weren't anything at all. Like they have we have that one good drive where they rushed it, broke. They broke it. They went down 65 yards and scored the touchdown to go up 9-10. But like, this team didn't do nothing all game. Like, and you can't win off of one drive most of the time in this league.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears offense stunk. The Vikings game, I mean, this whole game stunk. There was no good offense. It was all defense. But it wasn't even like I would shout out the defense. They made great plays, but it was like just bad offense. Just really bad offense. Like give me interceptions, deflections in the air, 3 and out, stalled offenses. So it was tough to watch. But the Bears get a win. They're kind of, I mean, yeah, it's good. Now y'all got 4 wins on the season, but now I don't think they have the first pick anymore or the second pick. So they're kind of losing picks with this one.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was the Week 12 slate. Kind of a short recap, but that's because we had Thursday and Friday.
Hell yeah, I would love to see how. Before we go too deep into it, how exactly did you feel about Josh Dobbs? Because you see, he has heart in that drive where he scored. He definitely showed a heart, but there were a lot of mistakes.
See, I feel like I don't think he's a starter per se. After that, I think he's a good, very, very good backup or a start. Like he's that borderline starter. Like he's a bottom 32 quarterback. Like he's rounding the 30s just because I think he's in like the 25 to 32 range just because he makes mistakes. He's not like he's throwing for 300 yards. It's a lot of like 190 yards, 210 yards, but then he can run and he'll make a big play for like 15 or 20 yards. And it looks good whenever it works, but as we saw last night, whenever it isn't working, it kind of looks real bad. And you can't have that in France. Like you can't have that much volatility in your game to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Nah, for real.
Because also you saw it on the Cardinals. First half, phenomenal. Second half, it isn't the same Josh Dobbs.
Nah, that's real. But Bears not the Vikings game 5 game winning streak. They continue I'm terrible against the kick odds and luck. So we'll see how that division plays out now.
But thank y'all for watching. We love to hear you in the comments. Let us hear what you thought about Week 12. If your team balled out or if y'all lost, we want to hear it. I'm Paul Pickawinner. That's Kevin Waterboy Savoy. This has been a Week 12 recap of the NFL. And if y'all didn't know, now y'all know, motherfuckers.